Welcome back to another episode of BandChat with Royal Oak. I am Austin. I'm your host today, and with you, I have Miles.
Hello. How's it going, guys?
I also have Mike.
Hello. It's going great.
Brayson is in my back pocket.
Hello, and I just want to say that was the most boisterous hello I've ever heard at the beginning here.
Setting the precedent. And today we have our first guest, Mr. Luke Tochkin himself. Say hi, Luke.
Hi, Luke.
Classic.
You're really putting forth the precedent here for the rest of the episode.
All right.
So basically Luke is a longtime friend of ourselves, personally and as the band. So we're basically going to be getting into a lot of lore of the band, just a lot of good memories. So we're really excited for this episode.
Yeah.
First and foremost, we have our icebreaker of the day. So this one's a little bit different. This one is Luke themed. So basically we are going on the topic of our favorite Lukeism, which essentially is sort of, I guess, for lack of a better term, an inside joke amongst all of us, which is something silly that Luke has done over the course of us knowing him. So, Miles, how about you kick this one off?
Oh, I was hoping I was not going to go first.
Do you want me? I'll pick someone else.
That's okay. I'll go first because mine isn't necessarily a Lukeism, but it is I guess it still is. It's just, it wasn't verbal, It wasn't a verbal Lukeism.
Oh, it's physical? It's even worse.
Yeah. But I also want to say, Luke, thank you for joining us. It's nice to have you on.
It's nice to be on. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, no problem. And so my Lukeism, it was, I thought of a lot. There's so many I could have chosen, but I don't know. This is ingrained in my head, and it actually came up when we were planning this episode, but I just want to bring it up now because I still don't know how it was humanly possible that you achieved this. So we were recording, this is actually pre-Mike being in the band. And one time we were recording at Nimbus with Hamilton Chalowski, and
This is already setting the scene.
and those sessions were night sessions. So when did those start? They're like 9 to 9, I think was what they were,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Right?
like
yeah, they're
that.
12-hour blocks.
Yeah, so 12-hour blocks, and of course you get tired, right? And then I remember Luke went into like a fetal position. He was like I don't know why he was in the fetal position though, but he was like face down, like crouched down like this. Like if you're watching the video, he was like, how do I even do this? He was like on the floor like this, like hands on the ground, like this. And he literally fell asleep like that.
Oh.
And I to this day, I'm so confused. And I just remember is we literally put every article of clothing that we had on you, and you just look like that pile of jackets that is, how like when you go to a party and people are like, oh yeah, I'll take your jacket, and then like maybe you go into that room and there's just a pile of jackets on the bed. You look like that pile of jackets at a party. That's what you look like.
Yeah, you looked like you were like huddling down for an earthquake, but there was no table you were hiding under, and there was no earthquake.
I see.
Exactly. So that was my Lukeism, was the falling asleep in a face down fetal position with his knees to his chest, literally like this, except on the ground.
Yeah,
Very impressive. So that's mine.
that was good. Brayson, let's have you go next.
Okay, well, mine. Sorry, I'm distracted by the fact that my Zoom video just stopped.
Yeah, that's pretty
Just
good.
as you're like reaching for it too.
Yeah,
it did.
it looks like Brayson's just casually holding the camera in like a selfie
When's your
position
rap
like
album
this.
drop?
You know what? Let's throw it in the video right here. So just so everyone has reference.
Anyway, that's just the way it's going to be for the rest of this podcast, but whatever. My Lukeism is also not a verbal thing. It's just his tendency to just do. Whenever there's trouble afoot, he's like, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Okay, do you have an example? Because I gotta think of one.
I have an example, but I want to save it for later.
Okay. We'll leave it broad. We'll get into some more details.
Ooh.
Mike, what about you?
Yeah, I feel like when I think of Lukeism, it's not something you say. It's just a way of being,
Yeah.
And my favorite thing about Luke is that, similarly to what Brayson said, he just does everything like 150%. You know, like you're like, Luke, can you do this? And he's like, yes, and here's a bunch of other things too.
You just improv your way through life. You just and everything.
Just like normal people are here, are and then Luke is just like way up here in the best way possible.
In
and
like
I do
every
have an example. It's a story that I very much want to tell. We were on our first tour, and we were in Edmonton, staying with Hamilton, who recorded the first album at Nimbus. And we had a day off on tour, so we decided we're going to get really stoned and watch a Trailer Park Boys marathon, because apparently that's what you do.
Not the watermelon story.
So we're halfway through the day, and Luke, we're like, oh, we need snacks, you know, as you do. Luke, can you go get us some cookies? So Luke goes to the store, which is, by the way, like across the street, like literally right across the street. There was like a convenience store. And he came back like 35 minutes later with unbaked cookies, just like cookie dough that you have to bake in the oven.
But the thing is, it wasn't like it was like in a tube. It was like, you know,
Like
when
a
you
sheet.
get meat.
Like
Yeah, it
a
was on
sheet of cookies.
Yeah, it was on like trays.
And a watermelon that nobody asked for. And we made Luke eat the watermelon with a spoon as like his punishment for bringing a watermelon when we wanted cookies.
I remember someone had to watch me use a knife because I was so stoned that people were worried.
Yeah.
We didn't get cookies, but honestly, eating the cookie dough was pretty great. So
It was-
you
it
gotta
was
gotta
good.
give it to Luke for that.
Yeah.
I also just remember when he came back and he had the cookies and he had the watermelon, and it took you a long time, and someone was just like, "What happened?" And you're just like, I don't know.
As a little other addendum to this story, I just remember at one point we were sitting there just watching Trailer Park Boys, still stoned, and I turned over. I look over at Luke, and he's sitting there fast asleep with half a watermelon in his lap, the spoon stuck in it, and he's just like, it was incredible. And then I'm pretty sure once we actually left Hamilton's house, we literally left the watermelon with the spoon still in it in his fridge.
Yeah. And to paint a picture, a lot of people, I don't think we're painting a picture of what that watermelon looked like. Like he literally cut the whole watermelon in half and was eating it like it was a bowl. Like the watermelon was a bowl.
It's nature's bowl.
Honestly, Luke, super eco-friendly. Really proud of you.
Yeah, that's a good one, Mike. I like that one.
That's a good
Austin,
one.
I like that
Austin,
one.
what
All
about
right.
you?
I have a good one. So this was a couple years ago. I remember we were out just at a brewery, I think for somebody's birthday. It might have been, no, it wasn't Luke's. It was somebody else's. I can't remember whose.
It was
Was it yours?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It was Brayson's. Yeah, so anyways, we were there, and I think I already know what this story is. So we were playing a game. What was it? Brayson,
Taboo.
you remember?
It was Taboo.
Oh, you
I also
do
know where the story is
Okay,
going.
perfect, great. I'm glad you guys are filling in my my cracks of the story here. So we were playing a game of Taboo, and Luke was trying to get us to say a certain word that was on his card, and we couldn't get it for the life of us. And we're like, "What was that?" And he's like, and he turns the card over. He's like, "Chine." We're like, "Chine," like spelled CHINE, and we're looking at it. We're like, and then we're like looking at it. There's French on it. We're like, Luke, you're looking at the French side. It's China. he was reading the French side of the Taboo card, thinking that chine was a real word. Okay. Oh,
Well, that's
that kills
classic.
me. Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry, Luke. We're not gonna fucking drag you this entire episode, but we just had to.
This is pretty fucking funny.
But hey,
Yeah.
like, and for the listener, like, I know it's a lot of laughing happening, and apologies. We've just known each other for so long, and it's our first guest, and we're here to laugh. So that's what's going on here. But Luke, you said that you had a favorite Lukeism as well.
I'm actually
with us.
gonna change it. So
gonna change
originally mine was the damn story
We'll get to that.
about me. Yeah, we'll get to it.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna change mine to. I think it was the second tour. We're in Saskatchewan, we meet the singer. I can't remember the band's name for the life of me, but we meet the singer. We stay over at her house. I'm fast tracking the story quite a bit. We stay over at her house, and I was bunking with Craggle. Craggle, do you remember this story?
I don't know.
You don't know? You don't remember this? Okay.
No, he was asleep.
I don't have an inkling of where this is.
Here's the thing: is he woke up? Okay. Please tell me Craggle remembers this story. Okay.
I probably will once you tell it. I have no idea where this is going.
I would love. You can tell the story so much better from your point of view. It's so much funnier when you explain it.
All right. Well, you gotta try your best.
So, it's Saskatchewan where we end up in like someone's house or something like that.
Lunar Dance Commander was the band name.
Yeah.
Yeah. How the hell did you remember?
I can't remember what. I honestly
we
can't
did
remember
that
what
too.
her name. What was her name though?
Stephanie.
Stephanie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, go ahead.
So, we fall asleep, and there's like, I'm gonna set the scene. So we're in like a little room, and there's like a double bed or something like that. And I think she just moved in, so she had like all these boxes and everything, or like around the bed. So there was only one way to get into the bed. So it was Craggle was next to the boxes, like next to the wall, and then it was me. So I had like the closest way to get out. So, long story short, I fall asleep. Crouches asleep. I have a tendency to sleepwalk. So I remember I don't remember getting up, but I remember sleepwalking all the way around the bed, waking up, and I remember like so fucking confused as to where the fuck I am because I have no clue. And Cradle's just fucking like staring at me like this close. He's like, what are you doing? And I was like, can I get back up in the bed now? But he has no no clue what the fuck's going on. He just woke up, stared at me, and was like being told like, can I get in the back in the bed? Like it was the most random thing.
It's like, why did you ever get out of the bed?
Oh. That's the
That's
Lukeism.
my Lukeism. That was like I haven't slept since. Like I don't know why. I don't know why I did it then.
Yeah,
But that was my Lukeism.
I remember. I actually remember Mike saying like the morning after, he's like, I woke up and Luke was on the floor. I don't know why.
That was the best sleep of my life. I had the whole bed to myself.
Best tour sleep. You like wake up, you're like, where is he? He's like,
oh.
there. Oh, there he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That you know what? That was such a great way to just start off this episode. It really brings back the good memories. And you know what? We'll touch on some good ones. We'll touch on some crazy ones. But first, we have to roll back, not even past the time that Luke first met all of us, but to the very beginning where he met someone in this band. Back to the time when Luke met Mike.
It's true. That was the first
in middle school.
That was the first time that any of us met Luke, I guess, because you guys all met in high school. Luke and I went to middle school together. And we were like planning this episode. I'm struggling to remember if I have any memories of Luke in middle school. Like I know that we knew each other, or at least sort of like
we knew of each other.
We knew of each other. I don't know that we were like super good friends. I feel like in middle school you were the kind of guy that like wore shorts even in winter. Am I like way off base with that comment?
I know people that I work with that are like that.
So you weren't like that?
I don't think I was, no. But I remember he was in the fucking French Pod, and I can't remember what the French Pod was called. I was in the fucking Eagles, and we were like mortal enemies. That's all I remember.
And so that's how Royal Oak was born. Wow, just by being mortal enemies.
Yeah, our middle school was basically like a gang story where there's like different each like collection of classes was called like a pod, and each pod had an animal name.
Yeah,
and,
it was the same for us.
You guys had that too?
Yeah.
So it's a weird thing in hindsight.
Yeah, I
why?
mean, you have to have a. I mean, I think the reason why they did that was just so you could have like assemblies and stuff. Well, not so you could have. They weren't like, we need teams so we can have assemblies.
Quick, we need animals.
Yeah. I think it's just to organize the troops.
Exactly.
Maybe. Yeah. Anywho.
Yeah.
You guys didn't know each other that well.
We didn't know each other super well, but definitely knew of each other. Like probably had gym or something together. Do you have any memories of me in middle school other than our gangs being mortal enemies?
I actually don't know. I remember you were friends with Mac Chalowski. That's all I remember. And I was kind of friends with him. So I kind of knew, and then Dennis Ham, but I kind of knew you guys through them.
Right.
Yeah.
But
It's funny that these are like all names that have come up throughout the podcast. Like,
really? Oh, that's
yeah,
weird.
because Mackenzie, for those listening, Mackenzie's done a bunch of photos for us. He's actually the younger brother of Hamilton, who was in 2 of the Luke stories. So it's all very, very connected. Like, we have a pretty tight knit community of like musicians and artists and stuff. I feel like from like this area. So
It's true.
it's just funny how far back so many of those like friendships go.
Exactly.
And then I remember, so if there wasn't much in middle school, Luke, we were talking the other day, and you told me how you met Austin first. Would you mind diving into how you met Austin first? Because you were talking to me a bit about this.
I think I met Austin first. I don't know if it was Brayson or Austin, because both of them I kind of met around the same time. I think it was Austin.
Okay.
So we were in recording arts in, I believe, grade 10. And I was just kind of getting into that sort of like mixing and mastering and doing all that sort of thing. And I had this song that I played guitar on, and Brayson, believe it or not, played bass on, which I actually have the track. And another guy from fucking high school played drums, and then the singer was terrible, but the singer was really bad. But we had like someone else play like sing on the song and everything, and I needed someone to play guitar solo on it, and I wasn't very good at guitar, I guess, at all in my history. But
That's not
Austin,
true.
Austin. I remember hearing Austin, this guy named Austin, all this fucking time. He was a very good guitar player. So somehow I grabbed his number from someone or something like that. And I texted him to come down at this certain time. And he played a guitar solo for me on the track. And we just kind of stayed friends after that. And then through that, I think I met Brace, and then he did a bass track for me on that song. And then I think from there it went, I met Miles. And then from Miles, I think you introduced me to Richard. That was kind of how I knew my entire crew.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Richard
think
High
we've mentioned Richard in the podcast before too. And
Yeah,
for those
he's the-
listeners who aren't
dick.
aware, recording arts. So this is a class we took in high school together. So this is a class where you would record projects and learn how to mix and learn how to set up microphones and do all that stuff. So just a bit preamble there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
And
goes
Richard
along with
is,
like a lot of the rock school stuff that we did. It was like a side program within that sort of program in general.
Yeah, and that's how we met. That's how we did it.
Yeah.
Like 12 years ago or something.
Oh wow.
Oh my god,
that
is it
hurts.
Nine.
Yeah,
actually?
it's been more than a
that
decade. I
hurts.
was actually thinking about that. It's been crazy.
Oh,
At
Yeah.
least 10.
We're getting
Crazy.
so old. Fucking nuts.
well, I mean, me and Brayson are hitting the old quarter of a century. You three have already hit it, so
My
we're
back is already hurting. I want to die.
Absolutely.
I'm mentally in decline. But yeah, so I guess that's how Luke remembers first meeting all of us. But what was everyone's first sort of memory of Luke in general, like your first impression?
Oh no.
I'll go. I remember. I
No
think
one, no one do impressions, please.
No,
Hey, we
I
already
don't.
went over the watermelon story. There's no.
There's no-
What are we gonna do? We're gonna do you dirty?
We already did.
I remember. I think the first time I actually met you was definitely in recording arts. Yeah, it was in recording arts, and you asked me to play drums. I think you were doing a song with a guy named Emeka, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
he was a rapper, right? And so, and of course, in recording
what
arts,
happened to
Steve Sanis, our music teacher, be like, you have to have real drums. Like, you have to have real drums in it, right? And so,
Yeah.
as a hip hop artist, this guy's like, I don't know if I want real drums, but we had
I
to
think
put real
Chance
drums in it.
did Chance did drums on it, I believe.
No, I
it's
did,
like a-
dude. I did drums on
Well,
it.
he
That's-
did like the fucking the Like
Oh,
the
the-
sample drums.
Oh, the
Oh,
sample drums.
electronic
I was like, dude,
drums.
the whole point of me telling this story.
Whole story.
Sorry.
Luke was like, no.
This story is not connected to you at all.
What happened to the yes and you were known for like 10 minutes ago?
Yeah. But yeah, so that's how I first met you, and I played drums on that track, and I just knew you as the guitar guy. Like that, I think we were in the midst of building your first guitar, that Strat you built. Luke's a very
Yeah, it would have
talented
been great 10.
woodworker, and we'll dive into that in a little
As you
bit
can
more.
see, for those of you on video, he's just like in a workshop right now.
Yep. Oh wait, Luke, show us the birdhouse that you're working on right now.
Oh, yeah.
Now's as good a time as ever.
Yeah.
It's from my mother.
Aw, that's so cute. So for you, those of you that are on the video, you're seeing a lovely birdhouse right now. For those of you on the audio, it's a lovely, it looks like a miniature log cabin.
Yeah.
A very nice miniature log cabin.
Think like Lincoln Logs, but done by a 25-year-old.
Perfect.
It's like
description.
very
with-
classic,
yeah.
classic birdhouse. Like
Yes.
Very classic, yeah.
what you think of when you think of a birdhouse.
Except nicer, a bit more premium, I'd say.
Yeah, like sorry, I should rephrase that. It's like Lincoln Logs built by a level 3 carpenter. So
But yeah, that's my
brain.
first recollection. And my first impression, I just remember you had this really long. Did you have long hair at first? Actually, you might have not had long
Grade
hair
10,
yet.
I think I was growing it still.
Yeah, I don't think you had
yeah.
the completely long
Grade
hair
12,
yet.
I think it was like the longest I ever had.
Yeah, but I just knew you were really into rock music, and you were just like, you were just a guitar guy. You were just like, yeah, 80s hair metal. That's all I really got.
yeah, I imagine pretty much the same thing. Just you're like a fun eccentric guy who just like loved trying new things. And whether it came to woodworking or recording music, you were just always like, let's try this, let's do this. I want to try this. And you were always, and you still are, like a super ambitious person. Always just was one to be creative, do things with his hands, build things, and yeah, it was just you very much like functioned on a very similar wavelength that I did in terms of like eccentric energy.
Yeah, I think that's where we kind of niched very well.
Yeah.
You're like this. I'm also like this.
Wow, we're
And then
friends?
And then we proceeded to continually scream at each other for the next 12 years.
In SpongeBob voices.
In SpongeBob voices,
true.
in a tiny tour van
Oh, yeah.
for a month.
Yep.
While we were ready, the rest of the band was not.
True.
That was a SpongeBob reference.
I got it. I just didn't laugh.
Well, fuck you too then, I guess.
Damn, that's the best response ever to a joke.
Yeah.
I guess
No, I got it.
we're doing both Luke and myself dirty today. But yeah, I guess, we've already talked about you basically being such a handy person. And I guess that really kind of, that really sort of translated into your, sort of the role you sort of put yourself in within sort of our rock school program.
Yep.
Yeah. I was saying
became-
bitch.
Yeah.
I was gonna put it. I was gonna put it in a nicer way.
Sorry,
and been
Saints,
like,
if you're watching this, sorry, but
oh no, you were his bitch. He's not sorry. You kidding me? He got free
learned a
work
lot.
out of you. Yeah.
And he got a
and
lot
you
of free child
fucking,
labor out of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
got a lot.
Instead of sweaters, it was soldering. So
Yeah.
Close
but-
enough.
Yeah, but you were just always sort of that guy, whether it came to fixing, organizing, making things better, or just generally, fucking around and trying new things in terms of music, audio, playing in bands and stuff like that. You were the first person I ever saw on stage to do a guitar solo with the guitar behind their back.
Was I?
Ooh.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yes.
hadn't seen anybody else do that on a rock school stage.
That was a when we had that guitar battle.
Oh yeah, you guys had a guitar battle.
Yeah.
I remember
And when we played the
guitar battle.
Def Leppard set.
Yeah.
Do we have video of that?
We do, but
Well-
we're not going to show any of the harmonies.
Just the
Okay.
guitar battle.
Yeah, tell you what. Okay,
the guitar battle.
if we have video of the guitar battle, it's gonna go right here.
Yeah, we'll superimpose it.
And if we don't have it, we're moving on. Pretend I didn't say that. So
Well, at the very least, we
got
can at least get him going like this.
yeah, there's definitely a photo. So You'll get something, video users. Audio
I'm pretty
users,
sure,
you're
I'm
out
pretty
of
sure we have
luck.
the video.
Yeah.
I think I have the video somewhere.
Perfect. But yeah, other than that, I mean, one of the biggest things that, we know that you did was basically like back when we were the Reprise, our previous band name that we were under, Royal Oak, before we brought Mike on. You basically fucking managed the band.
Yeah, literally. We were
At
talking
like the age of 15.
Yeah.
That's smirk.
No one liked when it was mentioned that, oh, you're the band manager. No one liked that, though. Let me just say that.
What do you mean?
Well,
Like, I remember like a very specific time where it was like me, like you guys wanted to do it yourselves, and I was totally fine for that. But like everyone, because I was like the fifth Beatle, like everyone would just kind of include me in like the process of like, oh, you're the band manager at like fucking 16 years old. I'm like, yeah. But no one like liked it. I remember no one.
what do you
down.
mean
Like-
no one
like
liked
us?
like us? Yeah.
Yeah.
what?
Oh,
Like
yeah,
no one
I
liked
think-
like when I said, oh yeah, I was the band manager or whatever.
I don't think it was that we didn't like the idea of you being a band manager. I think it was just like our concept of you was as roadie.
Yes.
So when people said, "Oh, you're the band manager," we're like,
Oh, okay,
no.
I see what you're saying.
But
yeah,
I mean,
it's not a negative thing. Like it's all positive.
what
Well,
was that?
Start crying.
well, you know what? Let's put it this way. No matter what we thought when we were younger, I think it's very safe to say that you absolutely ran the shit out of that band.
Oh
Yes.
yeah,
Like-
retrospect, absolutely.
We
Like the first Royal Oak album would not exist.
Yeah, forget the Reprise. Even like our previous, like our what we were previously known as, like the first Royal Oak record would have, probably
Really?
would have looked and gone probably worse, to be
It wouldn't
honest.
be what
I
it
think
is.
it would have looked different. I have a very fond memory of doing the album cover for that. One in a forest, because we took the back picture was like of like the sticks with the, I think, right? Remember
That's the
getting
Reprise.
album? Is it the Reprise?
Yeah.
Okay, I have a very fond memory of the Reprise doing that, and then I have a very fond memory of being in Brayson's basement.
In the basement.
In a bracement. And going over what's it called? Like he wanted like a folded up paper, like if you crumpled paper, and then had that as
Oh,
like a
yeah,
background.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then had like the background of like the forest and everything, and then have like this little like crumpled.
This was
gear
Royal Oak,
that was
though. This
made.
wasn't Reprise.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
now we're
yeah,
talking
yeah,
about
yeah.
Royal Oak.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
now
yeah.
we're talking about. Okay, we shifted gears. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So there was
But
the
yeah, I
back picture
remember.
of the first Reprise EP.
Yeah,
which
I
was,
remember
in
like
the
having
forest.
to do it in Brayson's. I remember having to do it in Brayson's basement, and him wanting me to do things that I, honest to God, didn't know how to fucking do. Like I had just learned how to use Photoshop.
Yeah, that's the
No fucking clue.
You seem like a pro to me.
yeah. This goes back to the and we were talking about. It was basically just like, hey, Luke, can you do this? Or we wouldn't even ask you to do certain things. And you'd come back and be like, hey, look at this amazing graphic design I did for you guys. And we'd be like, wow, thanks.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, we were also talking
Yeah,
about Maple Stock and like
Oh,
Yeah.
what Luke did to make that happen. I was in the band at this point. I think I just came as like a spectator, but Maple Stock was like, we got a whole bunch of bands from like the rock school program and maybe even just like from around town in
local,
general.
yeah.
Just like local bands rented out a community hall and like put on a show at like 16 or 17 or whatever
Yeah,
we
it
were,
was,
right?
the River Springs Rec Center, but
Yeah.
I wasn't the head of that. Martin Grice was.
But
I
who
only did the graphic.
every single thing?
Yeah, you were definitely the stage manager.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The everything managed. You planned the show. You came out with the set times. You played a big part of that. I wasn't even in the band for that. That was when we were in our hiatus point.
Oh,
So I wasn't
remember
even-
that. Yeah,
I wasn't
Chris
even-
was in the band.
Yeah, I wasn't
Yeah.
even there for it, but I heard nothing but amazing things.
Yeah, you didn't even come to our show.
I had a hockey game.
I see how
Boo.
it is.
That was the whole reason I was in the band. I think.
I
I
know.
wasn't even playing. I was just watching it.
Yeah, that was really I have no words, man. You've spearheaded so much shit behind the scenes for us over the years, and have really been such, a backbone for the band for so long. But I guess that sort of really warrants the question, if you don't mind me asking, like why did you do all that you did? Because you didn't really get anything out of it.
Or did you?
No, I got nothing. Yeah, I'm still making royalties off you guys right now, so I can't say that. But no, I just kind of enjoyed it. It was kind of I love being behind the scenes. So it was kind of like a nice. I went to college for stagecraft, so it was kind of like a nice little introduction into that. So, I mean, I don't know. I just kind of did it for fun.
I mean, you're
Gotcha.
like we were talking about earlier. You are a guy who likes to learn on the fly as well, right? So you were just
Yeah.
like, a project, a band, and I think Mike, you brought this up in the first episode, or the episode when we talked about our history, where it was kind of like, I totally just lost my train of thought.
Damn. Just left the station.
Oh no! What was it? What were we just talking about?
I
Why
don't know.
Luke,
Me.
why Luke puts so much energy into
We were talking
Helping a
about
bunch
me,
of-
Miles. You forgot?
Oh, right,
I'm
that's what it was.
I'm having a
That's
beer.
what it was.
I'm so sorry. I'm having a beer. Is that allowed?
That's
Yeah,
allowed.
it's allowed.
That's fine.
This is a dry podcast.
Mike said you said that the Reprise was kind of like the high school band that people were like following and stuff. So I think that was probably played a part of it, right, Luke? Where it was like where the Reprise was the high school band, and you were like, oh, I'm helping the high school band.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I don't know. I honestly, I can't answer that question. Like, I really don't know why I did. I just kind of had fun with it. It just kept me busy, and like when I wasn't working with wood or my many other hobbies. So.
Yeah.
I feel like that's an answer in itself, though. Like, the fact that for you that was just fun, like giving 150% effort to like make a band work, just like speaks volumes of, I don't know, like if that tells you everything that you need to know about Luke,
Yeah.
if you don't already know Luke.
I've
like
always been told I like being a jack of all trades and a master of none. So, I mean, it's worked in certain things, but like now when I'm in my career as a carpenter, like I kind of have to focus on one thing, and it's kind of been like I can't do all my movie stuff that I love doing in carpentry because I'll get fucking fired because I don't need to do that sort of thing. Like it's
Right.
or
Wait,
all
hold
my
on.
woodworking, like
Movie stuff. Do you mean like the video editing and that kind of?
when I worked in the movie industry.
Oh, gotcha.
And everyone was kind of like the movie industry and like building houses is actually quite different. Like movie industries, it's the same aspect. Like you have to build a house and everything, but in the movie industry, it's pretty much just it's made to look good.
Yeah,
Instead of
it's
like
empty.
2x4s or 2x6 walls, it's like 1x4. Like it's just made to look good and explode or whatever. And then
Yeah.
like I couldn't like bring any of that to being a carpenter. So like
Right.
certain like jack of all trades, I couldn't really bring into certain things. Like I know a lot about a lot of different subjects, but I kind of have to focus on one, which is kind of annoying.
Well, I mean,
Wouldn't mind being a handyman,
I mean, you are a
that's
handyman.
certainly
Yeah.
You
certainly
inherently
I
are.
mean, for like a job.
Well,
Gotcha.
You're gonna get there because I mean, quick plug for you. For those of you who don't know, Luke runs a little business on the side. I mean, you haven't really been doing too much with it. We've been talking about upping it a little bit, but he runs a little business called Exotic and Craft. And stay tuned because there's going to be a lot more coming.
We
out of
actually
that.
have an example. I don't know if you want to grab it, Miles. It's right behind you. But my pedal board, he did the wood top, or I can just put a picture up.
Do you know how many people have messaged me about making those fucking things? But I
Oh,
have
really?
no fucking template for that thing. So I would need to either like borrow your like pedal board or like go buy one for like a reference. Like
Yeah, I'm sure you can rent them too. But
yeah,
it looks amazing. Like it's my favorite thing on my pedal board. I love it. Whenever I look down at it, I'm like, yes, this is dope. And Miles is grabbing it right now.
Oh my god.
That's why you're here.
how is it holding up?
So
How is it holding
it's-
up? Like how's
it's
the
beautiful.
finish?
Like,
Is it still good?
this
Okay, good.
exchange
it's
on it.
this. Holy
Okay, good.
shit! This is heavy. It's this middle. If you're on the video, it's this middle wood piece here. It's quite nice.
Yeah.
I'll bring it closer to the camera.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
if it's any
good
testament to its
stretch.
if it's any testament to its quality, as you can see, Grayson fucking loves his pedals, and the fact that his favorite thing on the board is that wood topper just really shows a lot about the quality you can expect from Exotic and Craft. Go buy now.
Yeah,
DM me, motherfuckers.
Do it.
I've had that little plank of wood on there for like 3 tours, and it's still shining like bright as ever.
I know
Yeah.
it truly is. Like look,
You
you
can
look at
see
the
it.
reflection. It's just
Yeah,
like
you can see.
Yeah,
it.
I could see it earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not
it's
only
Good,
that,
'cause
it's,
I was actually a
it's-
little worried because it's like solely your foot. So
Yeah.
I was kind of a little worried that it would eventually wear away, but what?
solely
Oh.
his foot.
Hey-oh!
And that's our podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
But honestly, like on the topic of being a handyman, that's really come in handy. Hey, no, okay, but like it's really come in handy for you being on our first 2 tours with us.
Yes.
Because as some people who know the band might know, and some who don't know, they now know. Luke was basically our fifth guy, our roadie, our George Martin, our
Fifth Beatle.
Yeah, that guy too. He was with us on our
Fuck the
first 2
Beatles.
tours. Whoa, okay, hey, we don't get controversial here on this podcast, Luke.
we haven't said one controversial thing ever.
No,
Sure.
Well, that was a start.
you
Anyway,
you get off our straight edge podcast right now.
I'm sorry.
But
I love the Beatles.
perfect. Anyways, we'll edit that last part out.
You said that like someone was holding a gun to your head.
I love the Beatles.
That's right.
Really? Name every Beatles song.
Hard Day's Night.
He did it. He did it. He did it.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah,
But-
Here
touring.
comes the sun.
Yeah, Luke has always been Mr. Preparedness, ready for anything. So he's always been super helpful in literally every aspect of our touring. He has been a driver. He's helped us load our shit on stage, load our shit off stage. He has held us when we cried. He has made the bed,
There's been a lot of those.
and you get the idea. Like Luke
Yeah.
has been there for us for so long, and it's funny how it's translated over to touring. And besides all that, he's also just been a source of constant hilarity, no matter what the situation is.
Sometimes
true.
good, sometimes bad.
Yeah. Oh, there is a lot of bad, but
It's true. There's one. I don't know if this story counts as good or bad. I feel like now is the time to tell the damn story
Oh,
because it's a tour story.
Mike, I want you to tell it though.
please.
Yeah.
Okay.
Please.
Where to begin? So we were on our very first tour, and we were in Revelstoke, and it's middle of July, and it is hot, and our show was like that night, and we had like 5 or 6 hours to kill in town before our show. And we're like, okay, we're gonna go for a swim in like the river. I think we talked to the people at the hotel, and they're like, oh yeah, you can go swim up in the river or the like lake that the dam makes. We're like, perfect. So we cruise on up there, like put it in the GPS, and we see a sign for like the dam. So we drive. So Luke's driving. He turns in wearing the captain's hat, of course, because
Yeah.
he's driving the ship.
Yep.
He's got to wear the captain's hat. And we drive down this little road, and we pull up to this like security booth, I guess. And the guy's like, "Hey, what are you guys doing?" And Luke like steps out of the van in his sailor hat and tank top, and he goes, "We want to swim in the dam."
I didn't mean it like that, though. It just came out like that.
And this man is like, "All right." Points us up the road, and we
yeah.
drove up. And we had a great time. Had some beers by the lake, but damn,
Yeah, that was
Damn.
funny. That was a cold lake.
but damn,
Yeah.
it was a very cold lake.
Yeah, we have so many good memories of Luke on tour, and one of my favorite ones, also from the first tour, is the incredible Greyhound Story.
Oh yes.
Oh, no.
Oh yes,
I'm sorry. This is coming up. This is getting mentioned. To anyone that doesn't know, this is my girlfriend. We've been dating for 4 years, and she's about to be very embarrassed.
Well,
I mean, it's kind of a heartwarming story when you think about it.
It is very great.
It was
who
also
wants- who-
more a you thing than it was a her thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, she didn't even need to be mentioned, really.
Yeah. You just kind of
I fucked myself over. That's kind of what I do. So here we
Well,
go.
sorry. Now that your name's already been said, on behalf of the band, who wants to take this one? I feel like someone can explain
Miles.
this better than I would.
Me?
Yeah.
You, yeah, it's decided. Go
Okay,
for
I'm
it.
going to need help filling in the gaps, though, because I don't know
course.
it completely. But
Yeah.
essentially, this was the first tour, right? Yeah, first tour you said, Austin.
Yeah.
And so we're coming to the end of the tour. And I can't remember what the last couple shows were. We were
It was
in...
literally the last show.
It was the last show.
We
That's
played
right.
Kamloops. We were in Kamloops.
Kamloops. It was the very last show of tour. And Luke just really needed to get home. He needed to get home. I can't remember why you didn't wait. Oh, it was because there was no parents or something home, I think.
And so you guys had just
You're
started
setting
dating,
this
right?
up,
Like,
man. You're setting this up.
right before we left for tour, I think, is when you and started dating. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but we were literally going home. Like, we played the show on the 15th of July, and we were like going home the next day.
Yeah. And
But Luke could not wait.
yeah, and he literally... Because it was
a
like
long
a
time.
window of like
It was a long
5
time.
hours or something, wasn't it?
It
Wasn't it
was.
literally like...
It was.
It was a 5... You...
I remember.
You
I
couldn't wait
remember on my way
5
home.
hours.
And we were all trying to talk you out of it. Like just wait.
yeah.
We'll drive you. Don't spend the money.
Yeah, and then of course you know, Luke had to do what Luke had to do, and he had a.
I really
he
wanted
had
to. Okay.
and he had. I was gonna say
To
he
put
had
it bluntly.
I was gonna say you had a biological instinct. That's what I was gonna say.
Needless to say, love prevailed that day, and boy, did it prevail hard.
It prevailed.
So
yeah.
Luke bought a Greyhound ticket to leave Kamloops for Vancouver, and we it was the last show tour. We had 2 other bands from Vancouver come up and play that show with us, and so we had a motel and we were like partying. It was the last show of tour, and then we had to someone had to not drink so that they could go drive Luke to the Greyhound station at 2 a.m. I think Miles.
I think that
I
was
think you
Miles.
drove, and I think I came with you, and we dropped Luke off at the Greyhound at 2 a.m., which means he got home to Poco at 7 a.m. What time did you get home?
Something like that. Yeah.
And then we probably pulled up at 11 a.m.
Hey,
Well,
when our
for those
mans
4
gets
hours, I had a lot of fun. All right.
when our mans
for
gets a
you.
window of opportunity, he fucking takes it.
he takes it. Yeah. So that was a couple $100.
I remember going home. I remember going home on that Greyhound, and it was. I don't remember a lot of things, but I remember going home on this fucking Greyhound, and I had an aisle seat, and it was like a long drive. It was like a 5-hour drive, and this Greyhound was so uncomfortable. And I remember someone kept on hitting my arm because there's nowhere for me to go. The seats are really skinny. So I remember trying to fall asleep. I had no. Did I have a neck pillow? I don't think I had any neck pillow, and I'm fucking trying to fall asleep. And it just someone keeps on hitting my fucking shoulder. And I'm like, this is the fucking worst. This better be fucking worth it.
Well, you know what?
Pissed.
We're not going to discuss that answer on this podcast or in general, so we'll move past that. No one asked. You can
They're
keep
still
that
together, so obviously the Greyhound trip was worth it.
Yeah.
True. It was.
We'll
worth
leave it. We'll leave
for
it at
love.
that.
Yeah.
Another really. Oh, sorry, Miles.
Oh, I think I was going to say the same thing as you because
Okay.
we're going into the next story, which this one, oh my God, this one is so funny. When we played we played a show in Winnipeg.
Okay. This
Go
is
ahead,
my
Bracer.
Lukeism. This is my Lukeism.
Okay, perfect.
Oh, okay,
Perfect.
okay, yeah.
Go ahead, Brace.
Winnipeg.
Okay.
You'll know.
You're gonna remember this. It's the best. It's the best thing.
Yeah, this
no.
as a preface, I think this really puts the part of Luke into the spotlight where it's when
Prime
he
Luke.
decides to do something, he does it 150%.
Yeah.
Prime Luke.
So Brayson, take it away.
Okay, so we're playing Winnipeg for the first time, and it was a very successful night. But it was on a Wednesday, so the venue only had like 2 staff, 3 staff or something.
Small
like that.
venue.
Small venue, yeah. And there was no sound guy there, so we had to run sound ourselves. So we were like, okay, of course, Luke can just do it, right? So I think we played second, and Luke was doing sound for the first band, and then he was doing sound for us, and it just got so busy as soon as we got off. The next band was setting up and trying to get ready to go, but Luke wasn't at the soundboard. I was like, holy shit. I guess I got to do sound now. Where the fuck is Luke? And I'm running sound. And I look around and Luke's just like zipping past me, waiting tables at this venue that he's never been to before. He just starts working. He's like going behind the bar, filling up people's glasses as if he owns the place.
And then, I totally forgot about that. Yeah, right. And then, because the reason it was so busy is because when we go to Winnipeg, Austin has a shitload of family in Winnipeg.
I do.
So like, it was just a ton of people there. And Luke was just zipping around, like literally bartending and waiting tables. Oh, that was so funny.
I love telling these stories too because you can see we're like, oh yeah, this story that we've clearly talked about 100 times, and you can just see Luke's face, and he's like trying to figure out where the story's gonna go, and then 75% of the way it dawns on him, and he's like,
Oh man.
Oh my
Fuck, I totally forgot about that story.
Yeah.
did they tip you out?
No.
No.
Damn.
There's the 150% right there.
Yeah. I guess, and with that being said as well, I mean, we already asked this similar question for, in terms of helping us with the band, but I guess on a bit more of a serious note, bringing it kind of back to this as well. Why did you decide to come on tour with us? Because like it was literally like time out of your life, and we did. Much to your chagrin, but we did obviously, pay you for your time being there, even though you didn't really care about the money. But like, why?
I just wanted the memories. I actually like the first one. I just kind of wanted, just kind of come along because I thought it was kind of fun. The second one, I definitely came because of the fucking first one, because of the memories I made. Mm-hmm. And the third one, I've really regretted because I was in school at the time. So I really regretted not going, but whatever.
Yeah.
Hey, you have a life.
It happens. Yeah. There's life.
That would have been extra nice because like we even got that grant, so we could have like paid you properly, which would have been good.
Yeah, we didn't know about that grant till like halfway through the tour though. So, but I mean, regardless, it would have, even though we're in a time where nothing's really happening, and we're having conversations over Zoom calls. It's like it'll all come back eventually. We'll be back on the road at some point. And
yeah, I kind of figured.
Exactly.
It wasn't the only one that I was missing. That was kind of my thought process. It's like, there'll probably be another one. So like, realistically, hopefully you can join us on the next one. And you know what? If you're listening to this podcast and you see us on tour in the future and Luke's there, buy that motherfucker a beer.
Absolutely.
I will autograph fucking boobs.
I don't know if that happens
You heard
anymore.
it here first. He will autograph boobs. Forget like
the silence of like what other people are gonna say. Like everyone's just kind of waiting.
You go to an indie pop show and you go and get an autograph on your boobs from
it's
the
just
roadie.
like, yeah, it's basically like we're basically just like at our at the last song in our set, we're like, thank you guys so much for coming out. We've had such a great time. If you like what we're doing, our merch stand is over there. Our roadie is signing tits. Like, you want it, we got it. He does not sign arms. He does not sign legs. He does not sign foreheads. He will not sign your baby. Why is your baby here? Take your baby
I
home.
might sign the baby.
Tits
That'd just
only.
be fucking funny. Just right in the fucking forehead with a Sharpie. Anyway.
If you see us on tour, buy that man a baby.
Oh
Oh my god, I think I just scared my roommates.
Yeah, that was a howl. You just
That was a
screamed.
guffaw.
Oh god. Yeah, as you can don't be sorry. As you can see, guys, like there's so much, there were so many memories that we've had with Luke, over the past 12-ish years, and between like personal hangouts and all the fun crazy shit we've done on tour. Like there's so much that happens between us, and this is just a little side note. This is why we wanted to have Luke as our first guest on the podcast, because it just makes sense, and there's really no better person we could have thought of to have as our first guest than the person who basically has been in the band for years. So
Absolutely.
Like before I was,
Yeah.
Luke was a part of the band.
yeah.
He was the fifth member. He's the fifth member. If there were to be a fifth member, it would be Luke. And this definitely isn't going to be your first and only time on the podcast. We definitely have to do a round 2. Like there's no way it ends here.
I got a lot of archive shit that I think I honestly God, I think a lot of, if not all of you, have not heard.
Okay,
like in
perfect.
Like a decade, like a long time.
Like
If
Sorry, I was just going to say, Luke and I were speaking before this, and he was just talking about how he had all these old recordings. So we're saying in our round 2, it'd be cool if he like had them ready, and we would just like listen to some of these old recordings in the round 2, and maybe do a little bit more. I think there's some other things we can touch on in terms of stories and stuff, but kind of we can do that for a round 2. It'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. So, needless to say, there's so many great stories we were able to tell, now, but we're going to have so many other great memories and so many, little tidbits of the past that we'll be able to share in the future. But, overall, I think this was a pretty fun little primer to our friend Luke Tochkin. So, Luke, once again, thank you so much for coming on and chatting with us, chatting with us.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I guess we'll wrap this up here, guys. Thank you once again for listening. As usual, all our socials and anything extra will just be in the show notes, so be sure to check that out. And yeah, we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Luke. Love you. Thank you for
Love
everything
you,
you do.
Bye.